Hello, welcome to Wilco Whites. Okay, we're going to look at a bit about Manchester City, obviously playing tomorrow. I just want to first touch on the Manchester City presser with Pep Guardiola. Now, he's a man of few words, a lot of yes, no answers. We did finally, they got a tune out of him. But a bit interesting to see a different manager speaking rather than 40 minutes of Daniel Farke, talking a bit of waffle. I think the presser maybe lasted, or what I saw, about 5 minutes with Pep Guardiola, straight to the point, boom, 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 boom. And it was asked a couple of questions about Leeds United, asked about Daniel Farke. He said he has a good relationship with him. A little bit about, obviously, our results. He said you can have a good run of results, but then you can have a bad run of results. Every opponent is tough, and they have a week to prepare, and the Premier League is so demanding. You've got to be at the top of your game basically every single week. I'm not saying Daniel Farke doesn't know this, and the other players don't know this, but obviously we know Pep Guardiola is a top manager, and he knows, obviously, it ain't going to go right every week. Obviously, the loss to Newcastle last time round. But you've got to be on your game, and you've got to be well prepared, because, like I said, most of the time you're playing once a week. A team, you've got a week to prepare. So it's not just him saying it. It'll be other managers. They'll know this. Asked about the loss to Bayer Leverkusen. I know there were a lot of changes to the Manchester City squad. That don't matter to Pep Guardiola. I think he sets a standard, and he expects it throughout the squad, no matter who plays. It was interesting to see. He said they played not to make mistakes. This makes it difficult. In football, you have to play. You have to try. They tried to be safe, so there wasn't noticed. That sort of resonates to me a little bit with Leeds United at the minute. Some players maybe are playing a little bit safe, scared to make mistakes. Is that because of the crowd? Daniel Farke may think so. But some of these players are used to playing in front of big crowds now. Likes of Okafor, AC Milan, San Siro. You know how hostile that can be. I don't think it is, but I think you're talking more about the younger players who did put in the side. But it was interesting. He wants his team to go out, play, no fear. Don't be scared to make a mistake. All right. As long as you're trying to do something positive, and then you make a mistake, it's all right. That's sort of what I got from that. All right, looking at Man City. So I looked at the last 6 Premier League games. I've not included the Champions League or the Cup games. So they've won 4 out of the last 6. The losses were to Villa and Newcastle, winning to Liverpool against Liverpool, Bournemouth, Everton, and Brentford. Obviously, ourselves, we've lost 5 in 6 games. They are sitting 3rd in the table. They are 7 points behind Arsenal. So what I've seen is there's a lot of the Man City fans are saying this is probably like a must win. Every game is a must win when you are up there, fighting for the Premier League title. But this one, because the 7 points behind, it's sort of we need to get sort of back on it. I had heard talking. Obviously, they've got Fulham after Leeds, and maybe there wasn't going to field a stronger team against Leeds because of where we are. I don't think that's the case, especially with them losing against Newcastle and then obviously Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League. They'll want to get back on it. They'll be up for it. They'll be hungry for a win. Haaland didn't play obviously against Bayer Leverkusen. He'll be hungry to get some more goals. And we'll look at the stats and for Manchester City this season. There you go. Haaland, 14 goals, leading the way, 1 assist. Doku, 3 assists, 1 goal. Foden, 1 assist, 1 goal. 2 assists with Silva, 2 assists with Cherky. The midfield chipping in there. Gonzalez with 1, O'Reilly 2 assists, goal. Guardiola 1, Diaz 1. So yeah, it's there's only Donnarumma, the goalkeeper there, just not got a goal yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, it's obviously Haaland is leading the way. There's not been a lot of goals scored throughout the rest of the squad, but we know that they're all top players, and the fact they've only scored 1 goal, some of them this season, don't mean a lot to me. Just want to touch on the predicted lineups, which is, I think we probably know what ours is. I'll add that as well. So the predicted lineup for Manchester City is a strong team there. Obviously, we don't know if this is going to be it, but obviously Donnarumma in goal, a top keeper. Guardiola, who we all know, we wish he was at Leeds. Diaz at centre back. Nunes right back. O'Reilly, young good left back there. Doku, you know how good he is on that left wing with Foden and Shirky just behind Haaland. That Reinders in just sitting behind, just protecting that midfield. Really good player, that Reinders. And Savino, who hasn't had the best of seasons this season. I think he's only got like 1 assist, something. Not started a lot of games, but for this, they're predicting he comes in for this game. Obviously, ourselves, this is what I think it will be, but not what I want it to be. 4 at the back, Striker Road on Goodmanson and Bogle, Ampadu, Gruev and Tanaka. Obviously, Gruev, Tanaka coming in for Longstaff and Stack that are injured. Okafor, Nemecha and Aronson. Against Man City, I think we need to be thinking of obviously sitting deeper and maybe kind of catch them on the counter-attack, which would be ideal. A 3 at the back would be perfect. If you've not seen my video from earlier today on Bo Svensson, how he lined up when the Mainz played Bayern Munich, they set up in a 5 at the back, or a 3-5 and a 1 up top. We're playing with 2 10s in behind, and I'd like us to sort of be a similar mould to that, but obviously 3 at the back there. And I would probably go with wing backs, and I'd still have a lot of players in midfield with just the 1 up front. But I would like to see Dan James in there with Aronson, so we have got that pace with Aronson. With Dan James. On that right wing, and Okafor, in case we can break away. And Nemecha, we know he has got a bit of speed as well. Using the speed of theirs to get counter attacks. We know Tanaka and Gruev is going to play. I would maybe have liked another defender in there, like I said, 3 at back. I would bring Bijol in and maybe take Gruev out. I know what we're saying. It's Manchester City. We maybe want to be a bit more defensive minded, but I think with three defenders in there with Ampadu, we should have enough. So I think Tanaka could still play in that role alongside Ampadu. And again, when we do get the ball, we need good players on the ball. Someone who's going to kind of create a little bit. Good on the ball in tight areas, able to keep it, intelligent with the ball, and that is Tanaka. So it's interesting. I don't think there's going to be any change from the formation. I'd be really surprised if Daniel Farke did do that. I could only see him doing that change because of the injuries. I couldn't see it, because it's more what he wants to do. I think he still wants to stick to this 4-3-3. I know it says there 4-2-3-1, but it would be a 4-3-3. But I think we do need to either a bit more in defence, or we need to pack that midfield a little bit more. But would have a Dan James in there, like I said. DCL, I think, keep him on the bench, and I think Nemecha has earned the right to start this game. He did say, Daniel Farke, there would be a lot of rotation. So we will see changes for Chelsea. I think that's where then maybe at home we would see likes of probably Nonto starting, and then maybe a DCL coming in to give Nemecha a rest. The centre midfield, again, this is why I might be tempted to see a three at the back. That'd be great, because then we would have that extra player in Gruev on the bench just in case, which would also give us another rotational option when we do play Chelsea. So it's going to be interesting to see the bench tomorrow as well. I mean, touch and go with Bar now. We know we're not going to see him anytime soon, but do we see, obviously Jack Harrison probably will come back into the fold now. I don't. Who knows? I would, I'd like to see Harry Gray in there as well. Why not? It'd be another option up front if we need it, instead of just throwing Pirro and DCL on, and the kitchen sink and all that. So that's the lineups there, and predicted lineups. Obviously we all think it's a loss. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of 5-0s flying about, and we're not that optimistic. I'm not that myself optimistic. I'm not saying we're not going to come out and battle. We'll come out and battle. And Ampadu said that, they're not going to just roll over because it's Manchester City. So we probably will see them coming out and battling. I think with Stack and Longstaff though missing, we're not going to see that same doggedness we did that first half against Villa. Still excited to see Tanaka. Gruev, for me, I like Gruev. I don't think he does anything wrong when he does play. I think just a lot about his stature, because we've got Stack in there who's big and tall, and Longstaff who's a bit more fiery and gets stuck in a little bit more. But for me, I think Gruev's a good little player. I would like to see a little bit more of him if possible. But I'm gonna go with a 3-0. I'm gonna be a little bit more optimistic than some and go just a 3-0. I'm hoping we can try and nullify Haaland, but again, that would mean 3 at the back, and I just can't see why we can't do that. We play a Bijol in there who could probably man mark Haaland, and then let Strike and Rodon just pick up the rest, with Ampadu dropping in. Ampadu's going to have to be key as well. He needs to up his game. He needs to be a lot more protective of his defence. Again, I've seen comments regarding the goal and the goals that Villa scored, and well, obviously the equaliser, not the free kick, but the equaliser. Ampadu could have done a little bit more maybe to get close to them areas where it's dangerous. I think he just tends to switch off a bit like a lot of them, and we've got to be on it. We've got to be turned on and switched on and focused. Otherwise, we're going to get rolled over. But yeah, I'll stick with my 3-0. If it's any less than that, I think we've done well. Can we get a draw? A draw would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Anything. A draw would be fantastic. A draw would feel like a win against Man City away at this minute in time. So that's it for today. Just a quick one, but yeah, we'll be cheering the boys on, no doubt. And I know everything's not rosy at the minute, and we've got frustrations regarding the manager. But we've still got to get behind the team, and we will, and we always do. So, looking forward to it, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Cheers.